Hello, church family. Good to see you today on this Thursday. We are continuing our Holy Week reflections, taking just a few minutes to highlight a couple of thoughts. And today we're going to do that again. I want to remind you, encourage you to once again remember that we're doing communion this Sunday, and we want to celebrate that together as a church family. Obviously, you'll be doing that in your homes, and so we need to make sure that you have all the things that you need. So please make sure that you have some crackers of some sort and some juice, and so we can celebrate this together. Well, let's jump into our reflections for this Thursday. I want to let you know that we're looking at Matthew chapter 26, verses 1 through 16. There's quite a bit that happens in Matthew 26, and once again, we can't cover it all. But in this chapter, I want to let you know there's kind of three things that I want us just to kind of briefly hit on. First of all, that chapter begins with Jesus telling the disciples that in 2 days, he's going to be crucified. That the Passover is 2 days away, and now he is going to be crucified. And so he realizes his impending death. He's trying to get the disciples to understand what's going to take place, and yet they are still struggling to understand who he is really in this instance and what's going to take place, and that he is going to die on Friday. And so he warns of his impending death. And then following that, he is at Simon's house, and he is anointed by a woman with perfume. And she takes perfume, expensive perfume, and begins to anoint him. And, Judas makes a fuss. Well, this could have been sold and given to the poor. And he was not happy with that whole situation. And was pretty frustrated over that. And, there will always be people who will be making a fuss over what you give to the Lord. I have found that true so many times, that people will make a fuss over what you give to the Lord. I just want you to remember that what you give to him pales in comparison to what he gives to us and what he gave for us. And so let the fussers fuss, let the complainers complain, but let's do our best to give our best to the Lord. That's what this woman did. She gave her best. And Jesus said she would be remembered. And boy, hasn't that been the case for what she has given. She would be remembered because of her generosity. And one of the things that I have learned is the more that we love, the more we want to give. Haven't you found that to be true? The less you love, the less you want to give. Generosity flows not from a command, not from a demand. Generosity flows from our love. And when we love, we give. And that should be the way it is in all of our life. It should be that way with our family, right? That we're not trying to keep something from our family. We want to give our family our very best. And it's true in our relationship with God. The more we love him, the more we want to give him, the more of ourselves and the more of our material possessions. We want to give to the best of our ability. Now, we're not saying that everybody gives the same, obviously, but we want to give the best that we can. The third thing that takes place in Matthew chapter 26, as Jesus knows that he is going to die, is that Judas betrays him. So Judas complained, and now Judas is going to betray him. I want you to never be surprised at who betrays Jesus. Judas had been with Jesus for about 3 years, had spent a lot of time with him, and yet he betrayed him, and he betrayed him for money. And many people betray Jesus. Some do it for money, some do it for love or for relationships, some do it for pleasure. It doesn't matter what it is, people will betray Jesus. And we know they'll betray us as well. But our heart needs to be, we're not going to be the one who's going to betray. I want you to really reflect upon that heart of betrayal. What would it take for you or for me to betray Jesus? Even as he is headed to the cross, that's our Easter celebration is that he's going to die on Friday, but he is still loving those who would betray him, even Judas. We must check our hearts. We must ask God to speak to us down in the depth of our being. Why would he still love us if we betray him? And yet that's who he is. Why would we betray him if we truly love him? Is there anything in your life that would cause you to betray Jesus? Well, folks, that's our thoughts for today. I want you to continue to prepare your heart for what's to come, for the death of Jesus. Jesus is going to die on Friday. He's going to be crucified. He's going to be killed, and he's going to be abandoned. And we need to prepare our hearts. Are we ready to mourn on Friday? Well, today, I want to encourage you once again. Let's prepare ourselves for what's coming. Let's prepare our hearts to be ready to worship him. You guys have a great day. God bless you. We love you. We're praying for you. We'll see you soon. Goodbye.